ladylike. So I really like finding Easter eggs. And when I say Easter eggs, I don't mean the actual eggs, I mean the little in-jokes that artists or directors will hide in their work. One animation company that does this all the time that you may have seen before is Pixar. But did you know that many historical paintings have Easter eggs in them as well? And it happens all the time, like how an artist will hide themselves in their own work or will add in dirty jokes. And I bet when you were a kid you thought you were super original, graffitiing your name somewhere saying Little Timmy was here, but Jan van Eyck totally beat you to it in 1434 in his painting The Arnolfini Portrait in Latin. Hello YouTube, my name is Mickie and this is Cool Art Stuff, the little place on the internet where I talk about art history and try and convince people that it is not boring or stale. To start off these videos, I decided to go with one of my favorite, albeit more obscure, tidbits of art history, because I figured it would be too easy if I started off with an already well-known offbeat artist like Salvador Dali or Van Gogh, though don't worry, they are coming. But this story always gives me a bit of the chills. It has communism, it has controversial brainwashing, and it may warm your heart in a weird way that might involve Joseph Stalin. So get ready. After the Bolshevik Revolution and Russia became the Soviet Union, Stalin came into power in the mid-20s after Lenin. Stalin enforced many different ideas over the course of his rule, one of them being that he wanted the official style of Russian art to be realism that depicted everyday communist life. That meant the art had to be immediately recognizable and enforce socialist and communist ideals. Enter, and I know I'm gonna screw up his name because it is a Slavic name, to the shame of my Polish-Russian family, don't speak any Slavic language, so I had my mother, who is from Moscow and speaks fluent Russian, send me a voice memo of the pronunciation of this guy's name. So even if I screw it up across this entire video, there will at least be one tidbit of it pronounced properly.
Kazimir Malevich. Kazimir Malevich.
Kazimir Malevich. Malevich. Ooh. Enter Kazimir Malevich. I really hope I said that right. Okay. So Malevich didn't paint like that. His work expressed things that required more thought. He founded Suprematism, which actually gained a lot of notoriety prior to Stalin getting into power, which is a movement that came after Cubism, which was an abstract art movement that focused on the use of geometric shapes in compositions. He exhibited work in Poland and Germany. He gave lectures on a variety of different abstract art movements, including Suprematism, and he held many positions of power at various notable art institutions. And one of his most famous paintings is called The Black Square, which I feel is one of those paintings that many people would look at and think, I could do that. And you probably could, but there is more than meets the eye when it comes to this painting. Now, Russian authorities didn't like not having control, so Malevich was pushed out of all of his positions of recognition. He had many of his manuscripts destroyed and was thrown into Tracee prison for 2 months with no trial for being accused of being a German spy. Now, it's not known what happened to Malevich in Tracee prison, but whether or not he just gave in to Stalinist ideals or was gently coerced into them is still debated to this day. But after his release, he slowly began painting in a much more realistic style. However, there seems to be a pattern among these paintings that seem to be a throwback to his Suprematist days. Even down to his very last painting, which I find so poignant, is a very figurative portrait of himself that is signed with a little black box. And that just warms my heart to think of the human spirit and how people will persevere to be able to express themselves how they want, regardless of any extenuating circumstances. And while Malevich might not be a household name, you might recognize the artists or their work that he influenced. Anyway, that's all for today. So that was the first installment of cool art stuff. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, if you liked it, if there was anything I could improve on, if there's any artists that you want me to talk about. I'm still very new when it comes to this whole specific topical video thing, so let me know. Put it all down there. I will put all of my bibliography in the description, and my battery is dying right now, so I'm just gonna say I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. Oh, also, I am considering doing some DIY videos, possibly inspired by artists or designers. So if you are interested in seeing that, let me know as well. Okay, bye. Ooh, I'm making a video. That never happens. Oh, sorry about that.